Good evening, everyone, and happy 449th birthday to St. Jane de Chantal, a most fitting occasion to launch the Forever de Chantal Capital Campaign. My name is John Knowles. I'm a third-generation de Chantal parishioner, a member of the de Chantal class of 1978, and the proud parent of 4 de Chantal graduates. Tonight, it's my honor to serve as your Master of Ceremonies. Over the next 30 minutes, we're going to share a dream with you. Hope to convince you to help make it a reality and also make a very exciting announcement. For your official welcome, I'd like to introduce our spiritual leader as well as the leader of our capital campaign, the lucky 7th parishioner of St. Jane de Chantal Parish, Father Samuel Geis.
Thank you, John, and welcome to all of you, and thank you for joining us here this evening for our Forever de Chantal campaign celebration. As with all things, let us begin with a prayer. Almighty God, we thank you for this wonderful parish that you have given us. It is the fruit of so many labors and endeavors of the generations of the members who belonged here before us. We give you thanks for their hard work and sacrifices, which have given us such a beautiful parish, church, school, and community. We ask now that you bless all the members of our parish and that you bless our campaign and our celebration this evening. Help us to be successful in advancing your kingdom here on earth, in glorifying you and manifesting the presence of your Son here in the world and the community that has been entrusted to us. And all of these things we make our prayer through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Father. Our next speaker needs no introduction. She's a member of de Chantal's first graduating class, a de Chantal parent, a de Chantal grandparent, a former teacher, and its present principal. Here to tell you a little bit about the impact of the campaign on our Blue Ribbon School and also take you on a little walk down memory lane is our school principal, Mrs. Betsy Hamilton.
Good evening. I'm so excited and honored to be able to welcome you to this night that we've all been waiting for. We are finally going to see that long-awaited dream, the field. I remember in 2001 the excitement of when the gym and the cafeteria, the air conditioning, and the playground were added to our campus. And now we've been waiting for this. There'll be no more announcements that say the field is closed, there's no soccer, there's no recess. There'll be no more cleaning the halls when the children come in from a muddy recess. So thank you for coming tonight, and I hope you're going to help us see this dream come true. In 1950, Father James Caulfield was asked to found the new St. Jane de Chantal Parish on an 8-acre plot and stone farmhouse in the Bethesda countryside, immediately transferring the cost to the parish. Encouraged by the excellent response of parishioners, Archbishop O'Boyle approved a building program. Ground was broken on a new school hall in June of 1953. St. Jane de Chantal School was born on September 15, 1953, when 48 pioneer children entered the first grade in the white farmhouse. The 2 classrooms were in adjoining rooms on the first floor with no dividers and not enough desks, while 3 Sisters of Charities lived on the second floor and shared their 1 bathroom with the students. In December of 1956, the first phase of the school was completed. Plans for a second phase were already underway, but first the ever-growing faculty of Sisters of Charity needed a home. The new convent, presently the Seton Center, was completed in May of 1957. With the school and convent complete, talk of finally building the permanent church began anew in 1962. However, with the original Magruder farmhouse that had served as a rectory since 1950, having no parish offices, meeting rooms, modern kitchen facility, or private space, there was once again a more pressing need for its expansion, and thus funds were raised for its addition, which was completed in November of 1967. After the rectory expansion, now Monsignor Caulfield once again turned to finally building a church. However, illness and his ultimate death in 1973, shockingly followed by the death of Monsignor Walsh a mere 2.5 weeks later, derailed any such plans. Monsignor Martin Christopher, 1973 until 1987, determined that a renovation of the existing church space in the 1970s was more financially feasible. When Monsignor Donald Essex arrived in 1995, he came initially to build a suitable physical plant. In September of 1997, the parish launched a $9.5 million capital campaign. Parishioners raised the funds for what is now Christopher Hall, completed in August of 1999. In a type of poetic symmetry, the school hall was used as our church in order to build on our present 750-seat worship space, completed in 2001. Which brings us to today. It is a time for all of us who have enjoyed the fruits of the efforts I have described for all these many years to take our turn and finish the job that they have started. So now, armed with the knowledge of this incredible legacy of giving, I am pleased to welcome your campaign committee members to introduce the next phase, Forever de Chantal.
Well, if that doesn't do the trick, I'm not sure what will. The Forever de Chantal is one campaign with 3 pillars: our children, our church, and our community. My fellow leadership committee members are now going to give you a brief overview of each. First up, for our children, is Mr. Mark Quinn.
Hi, my name is Mark Quinn. I've been a member of the parish for about 20 years. My wife Karen and I sent all 3 of our children to de Chantal. And while they were here and even after, we were very active. Karen was very active with the HSA, and I was president of the CYO for a number of years. And the turf field really served as the inspiration for the capital campaign, building upon the vision that Monsignor Essex had almost 25 years ago when he bought the lot next door and we had the grass field. And it just really became time to turn it into a synthetic turf field, both for safety, performance, and competitive advantage reasons. We've done a lot of work in laying out the configuration. It's going to be basically the same as it is now. The field itself is going to be a little longer and a little wider. We're going to maintain the batting cage and the playground, although we're going to have to split it. So at the one end you're going to have a playground, and then we're also going to have another one over by the entrance to the pre-K. So we're really excited about the use of the field, and it's not just for the CYO, it's not just for the school, but it's really for the whole parish, because what we've seen in other parishes is that a field like this, an asset like this, really builds community and creates opportunity for the parish to host a whole different assortment of activities that brings people together and really builds a community, which we're very excited about. The process for the field is really twofold. We have to hire an engineering company, which we've done, and work with the county to get the permitting. And then simultaneous with that, we have to talk with a turf company for the actual field design and installation. And so we're running both of those on parallel tracks. We don't know exact timing, but orders of magnitude. Permitting from the county will be the pacing item, and that will take hopefully about 6 to 9 months. And then once that final approval comes through, we'll have the turf installation company ready to go, and we can break ground whenever we want at any time of year. And Mrs. Hamilton has been kind enough to say that she'll do whatever she can and whatever she needs to work around the school schedule to ensure that we can install the field as quickly as possible. So we'd be happy to answer any questions you may have about this in the future, but we're very excited about this, and we hope that you can see the value in this and be willing to contribute. And I think it's important to emphasize that all of the money that's contributed to the capital campaign stays here in the parish with the capital campaign. There's no administrative cost, there's no contribution to the Archdiocese more generally, so we're very excited for the real bang for the buck for the capital campaign, and we hope you can join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. I'd now like to invite Father Geist back to tell you a little bit about our spiritual home, the church.
Hello, and thank you for joining me inside of our beautiful church of St. Jane de Chantal here at the heart of Bethesda. I'm actually standing in what was part of the original church built by Monsignor Caulfield in 1953, and it served as the church for generations of members of our parish until Monsignor Essex completed the new church in 2001, adding on to the existing church. What's interesting, if you look at the original diagram of what Monsignor Caulfield intended, what became the original church was only supposed to be temporary. He always planned to add a much larger and more ornate church. Never had the opportunity to do so, and Monsignor Essex was quite capable in adding on what is really a very beautiful and wonderful church. Part of our capital campaign is to bring it to completion, if you will, by adding stained glass windows that pay tribute to the heritage, the spiritual heritage of St. Jane de Chantal, and also of the American Church. It will be wonderful. We'll have saints from the United States being led by St. Jane de Chantal on one side behind the choir, and on the other side, spiritual giants of the eldest daughter of the church from France, saints that are well known and whose names are well connected here with our parish in many ways. So this is an exciting time for us to beautify and enhance our church without losing the natural landscape and lighting behind the sanctuary. So I'm inviting you to also participate in this effort to truly enhance our parish with beautiful artwork from the Willett Hauser Stained Glass Company. We're already well underway with some very generous contributions toward a number of the windows, including one in our children's quiet room, a guardian angel watching over a number of our parish children with the church depicted in the background. We hope to have that window in the not too distant future. So this part of the campaign focuses here on the church, and I'm so glad that you will be part of this effort to bring our church and make it even more beautiful than it ever has been before.
That is good stuff. Well, pillar number 3 is our incredible community. And Mark Shaheen's here to give the vision of what we intend that to be, or hope that to be.
Good evening. My name is Mark Shaheen. I'm a past president of the CYO, and my wife Maureen and I are longtime members of the de Chantal community. We sent all 4 of our children to school here, and we are grateful for everything that de Chantal has given to us and to our family. It is my pleasure tonight to tell you about the community pillar of the Forever de Chantal campaign, which involves renovation of Caulfield Hall, the former basement of the church that is now named after our founding pastor. Caulfield Hall has remained largely untouched, other than a mostly cosmetic upgrade back in the mid-70s. This, despite the fact that it is really the social hub of the parish. We envision a makeover of Caulfield Hall, including new ceilings and floors, an enhanced stage, updated electrical systems and lighting, and of course, Wi-Fi. The 1950s era kitchen will be renovated to allow for proper food preparation and service for social events, and the Scanlon meeting room will be renovated and properly equipped to serve as a conference room. In addition, our wonderful music ministers, who presently practice in what is literally a bare cinder block storage room surrounded by filing cabinets, will have a proper and appropriate rehearsal space to use. The new facility will be a clean, welcoming, and efficient space for our parish community to gather in fellowship. It is our hope that you will be equally excited to finally let the area that truly serves as the heart of our community be what it should be by contributing to the campaign. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mark. Now, you already heard from Mrs. Hamilton. Now let's hear from 3 third-generation de Chantal students on the effect that the campaign will have on their lives. I bring you the Schaefer Trio.
I love de Chantal because my whole family's gone here. My grandma, my mom, my aunts and uncles, and my cousins. And I've been going to de Chantal before I was even attending it, so it's kind of like a second home for me.
I love de Chantal because you get to meet so many new people and friends.
All the teachers at de Chantal are super nice. They all are great teachers.
The new field will improve Deshanel because the 5th grade and up uses the field for recess sometimes, so they will have more fun because when it's closed, they can't really use it.
The field will help improve field day because, as Thaddeus was saying, even if it's like wet, we can still use it, and like it's like better than the one we have right now. And it's not just us using the field; it's the parish and like other people for like family fun night, like cornhole, and all the other things we do on it.
From the mouths of babes. There you go. The campaign won't only help our students, it'll help all our parish groups. I can think of no activity while I was growing up that had more impact on me as an adult as playing CYO athletics. And now to talk to you a little bit about the impact that the campaign will have on our young athletes, here's the president of the CYO, Mr. James Hoffman.
Hi, my name is James Hoffman, and I am the CYO president here at St. Jane de Chantal. I'm also the father of 3 great boys. 2 have graduated from St. Jane de Chantal, and 1 who is still walking the halls in 8th grade and hopefully will graduate soon. We'll see. Like many at de Chantal, my wife Mara and I decided early on to give as much as we could to this great community. It means so much to us to be a part of this special environment that we all enjoy. So I want to tell you a little bit about what this capital campaign will do for the CYO. Imagine this, right? Imagine a great turf field where we've got practices, we've got games going on. Soccer, baseball, softball, maybe even flag football. Close your eyes with me here. Taylor Kelly brings the ball down the left side, pushes up to Josie Molinari, looks over, crosses into the middle, and we've got Francesca Antonelli putting one in the back of the net. The crowd goes crazy, the scoreboard lights up, Deshanel wins. That's what this is all about. Oh, look over there. Wait, I've got Chase Janet, Brendan Gazecki, and Patrick Caulfield in a batting cage. And hey, if you've got little siblings that are watching their older brothers and sisters, they're sitting over at the brand new playground in eyesight of the game, having a great time. That's what Deshanel is all about. That's why the Hoffmans invested time and energy in our heart to come here. We hope you have that same excitement too. Please join Mara and I as we contribute to this great campaign, and we appreciate your consideration. Go Dukes.
Gotta love it. Our next 2 speakers are a former Army Surgeon General and Medical Task Force Commander, respectively. I know that their proudest achievement, however, is that they are parents of Deshanel students Sydney and Logan. Please welcome retired Colonel Donald West and retired General Nadia West.
Hi, I'm Nadia West.
And I'm Don.
And we've been members of the Deshanel Parish since around 2006. And we first came to the community because we're both dual military, and we were stationed in this area. And so I remember the first time I saw the school. I passed it several times in the years past, but we were looking for a place for Sydney and Logan, our children, to go. And so I remember stopping in, and the first person I talked to was Mrs. Hamilton, who was the principal, and mentioned to our daughter Sydney was just starting 8th grade, which is really hard when you're starting at school in the very last year, where a lot of folks are already have to establish relationships with kids that were there a longer time. And then Logan was going to be starting 5th grade. And so when I talked to her, that was really a very open and welcoming visit, and just the warm feeling that I got when I walked around. The students were very polite and just very warm, and so it felt like this was a place that would be a great place for the kids. Well, for me, it's one of those things is if you're part of an organization, I feel an obligation to continue and to support it in the best ways, in the ways that we're able to. If we have means to support it, we definitely want to support it. And so anything that can beautify the church, stained glass windows, again, traveling the world, seeing the different cathedrals and churches. In fact, that's one of the things we do anytime we travel somewhere. We go to see the churches, and I think I've got a rosary from probably every place we've been. But the stained glass windows in some of the older cathedrals in Europe are things that just draw you in. They're just so beautiful, and so it can. I think anything to beautify the church, to improve that spiritual experience. We definitely want to support that.
Having traveled around the world, been in many duty stations, Iraq and Afghanistan, And as a part of the Catholic community, this was always home for us once we joined the church and the school during the summer of 2006. And so, like I said, we bounced around the world. I went to Afghanistan 2011, came back 2012, Nod and Logan came back the summer of 2012, and we rejoined the church community and have been here ever since. With St. Martin de Porres as my patron saint as well, and understanding that having worked in the medical field and then being married to an adoptee, with him starting an orphanage and a children's hospital, that was personally relatable for me. And then you ask the question about why we feel the need or the ability to support. I would say it's just a token of our appreciation for what the church and the school has done for us, because it definitely, I could say, they help raise our children with us, being with ours and the distance that we've had throughout our time here in the community. And so it was always a healthy and wholesome environment and safe environment for the kids as well. And so we laugh and talk about the priests that have been here, the various teachers that the kids had at the school and stuff like that. And those are some of the memories that we treasure, even as late as this Christmas, talking and laughing with the kids. So anything that we can do in support of the church and the school, sign us up.
Speaking of memories and doing anything you can do, there's no group that has had a more profound impact on this parish than its first group, the St. Jane de Chantal Sodality Guild. In the words of our former parish secretary, the women built the parish, and that is so true. And here to share the impact of the campaign on the Sodality is its present president, Mrs. Helen Bulwark.
Good evening. My name is Helen Bulwark. My husband and I have been members of St. Jane de Chantal Parish for 33 years. He is a longtime member of the CYO board, and I am currently the president of Sodality. We're happy to support the Forever de Chantal campaign, and we hope you will consider joining us in doing so. I want to talk to you today about the third part of the campaign, which is the renovation of the lower level of the church. It is focused on a plan to refresh Caulfield Hall and update its auxiliary spaces, such as the parish kitchen. Caulfield Hall is where we come together to meet and exchange information, experience spiritual reflection, and enjoy social gatherings. If you are a parishioner, I'm sure you have spent many, many hours here during the events that we hold over the year. Before the pandemic, a typical year would include things like the coffee and donut socials after Mass, the Time and Talent Fair, meetings of parish organizations like the Men's Group and the General Sodality, and funeral repasts. The list of events held here in Caulfield Hall is endless. The space is quite literally the fellowship center of the parish. But today it is pretty much the same as it was when the church was founded in the 1950s. The Forever de Chantal campaign's to-do list for the lower level of the church is significant. First on the list is a renovation of the kitchen to bring it into the 21st century and make it user-friendly and totally compliant with all archdiocesan and Montgomery County requirements. We also plan to install Wi-Fi and smart boards so that speakers can more effectively share information during presentations. We will refresh the Caulfield Hall meeting space itself, and we plan to build a choir room where our wonderful music ministers can rehearse the beautiful harmonies they bring to our liturgies. You may not know that the choir currently practices in a supply room, where the singers share the space with brooms, cleaning supplies, and the church's seasonal decorations. The renovation of Caulfield Hall and the lower level of the church will touch the lives of every single member of St. Jane de Chantal Parish. I hope you will decide to join your fellow parishioners in making this happen by making a donation to the Forever de Chantal campaign. You will see the fruits of your generosity every week. Thank you.
We all know what a welcoming and inclusive community de Chantal is. Here to share their experience with that is a couple who bought all in. Parents of 5 de Chantal graduates, please meet Will and Tree McKinnon.
My wife and I have put 5 kids through this school, or knock wood. We've got one who's in 7th grade who we think will make it. And they've gone on to do great things as young adults. So really, really thrilled with how de Chantal has impacted and nurtured and developed our children.
We moved to Bethesda from living in Washington, D.C., and held, when we moved in, we restored a historical home and held an open house. And lo and behold, the Daniels family came and attended our open house with lots of children and babies in tow. And I attribute Kim to us being here, part of DeShonel, part of the community. We got to talking about where we went to Mass and what parish we went to, and she suggested DeShonel. And Monday afternoon, she slipped an application through our door, and Will said, what do we have to lose? Let's, apply for Billy. So here we are, 17, 18 years later, put 5 kids through, and we really came here not knowing anyone. And now DeShonel is an extended family. The community of people here, our friends, our very dearest, closest, best friends are from the DeShonel community. When we came to the school 17 years ago, some other families had run a campaign and had donated money and did a renovation of the gym and did a renovation of this church, and we were the beneficiaries of that campaign. So we need to pay it forward for the families of the future.
I don't know if everybody remembers Monsignor Essex would call us out during church when they were raising money for the Cardinals' stewardship appeal. And he would say, get your checkbook right now, open it up, find a blank check, write Cardinal stewardship appeal. Well, we are asking you to do that right now. Go to your desk, get your checkbook out, and contribute to DeChantal, because this is the most important investment you can make in the school and in the parish and in the community, and it will have returns for many years to come. So don't wait till tomorrow, do it tonight.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, we've heard a lot about why to give. Now it's time to learn about how. Now, I can't think of any better person to teach us that than a longtime member of our wonderful DeShonel faculty and a fellow member of the leadership committee, Mrs. Lisa Tehan.
Hey, good evening. I'm Lisa Tehan. I am a parishioner as well as the physical education teacher here at St. Jane DeShonel. I've been a parish member for 30 years, and I can't believe this is my 20th year here teaching at DeShonel. My job tonight is to explain to you all the different ways that you can give to this wonderful community. The projects are amazing. You've heard about the stained glass windows, you've heard about the renovation of Caulfield Hall, and you've heard about the improvement of my classroom, the wonderful turf field. So tonight we ask you to do your part, pitch in, and make a donation. You can do that by going onto the DeShonel website, stjanedeshonel.org, go to the heading and click on Giving and look for that capital campaign logo. You can give in many ways. You can write a check outright. You can pledge over as much as 3 years. You can give via stock. You can also give by credit card, through bank account, or even an IRA distribution. So think about it. If you spread it over 3 years, if you give about $270 a month for 36 months, you have contributed close to $10,000 or more. So I ask you today to think about what DeShonel means to you and do your part. So get that checkbook out and write your check, pledge it over 3 years, because that'll be a bigger amount, and help us get this project done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. And I'd be very remiss if I didn't also give a huge, huge thank you to Marcus Alzano, who's been doing the live streaming for us, and our producer of this wonderful video, Ryan Tomczak. We absolutely couldn't have done it without you. Well, I promised a big announcement, and here it is. 1 month ago, the Ray's family, who have the deepest of DeShonel roots, including 8 DeShonel graduates, contacted me and committed to a leadership gift to the campaign of $1.2 million. Their incredible generosity literally guarantees that the campaign will be a success. With the Ray's leadership and the hard work of many people who hosted kickoff parties and many of the private donations we've already received, I'm thrilled to tell you that as of tonight, we have already raised $3 million for the Forever DeShonel campaign. What that means is our $3.5 million campaign just became a $500,000 campaign. And to see how attainable that $500,000 goal is, I want you to take a quick look at a chart which shows how many people we would need in order to get 37 pledges at the amounts shown. 37 people would get us to our $500,000 goal. Now I know there's many more than 37 people watching tonight, and I'm extremely confident that we can bring this thing home before June 30th of this year. Many years ago, Monsignor Caulfield was asked a question by a parishioner. He said, "Monsignor, when are you going to stop asking the parishioners to give?" Monsignor's response was, "When God stops giving to you." So I ask you, please, if God's given to you, if DeShonel's given to you, please find some way to pay it forward. And if you can, go to Forever DeShonel at stjanedeshonel.org and pledge to help. St. Jane DeShonel, pray for us. Thank you and good night.